All right, everyone, get ready, because today we're going deep into the Hedera ecosystem. We're talking about everything from social media to digital coupons and even a fighting league getting into the mix.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of action happening on Hedera, and it's definitely attracting some attention.
For anyone listening who's thinking, why should I care about this? Well, imagine this.
Yeah.
Your favorite snack brand is giving you crypto just because you bought your usual bag of chips. Or picture earning tokens by predicting who's going to win in a karate match.
Hmm.
This is all happening on Hedera, and honestly, I'm super curious to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I think we're both pretty excited about this. So, to get started, can you remind everyone what exactly Hedera is? What makes it stand out from all the other blockchain platforms out there?
Good point. We're not talking about just any blockchain here. Hedera uses something called Hashgraph, which is a completely different way of reaching a consensus. I've read that it's crazy fast and really good on energy use, but I have to admit all the technical details are a bit over my head.
Uh-huh.
Can you break it down for us in simple terms?
Sure thing. Basically, Hashgraph is like a gossip protocol. Imagine you're at a party, and you hear some juicy gossip. You tell a couple of friends, they tell their friends, and so on. Before you know it, everyone at the party knows, right? Well, that's kind of how Hashgraph works, except instead of gossip, it's all about sharing transaction data.
Okay, I think I'm starting to see the picture. So instead of miners competing to solve those crazy puzzles like in Bitcoin with Hedera, all the nodes are gossiping about transactions until everyone agrees on the order.
Exactly. And because it doesn't need that whole energy-guzzling mining process, Hedera is way more efficient. Plus, it can handle a huge number of transactions per second, which is super important when you want to use it in the real world.
That's really impressive. So we've got this super fast energy saving platform, but what are people actually building with it? I keep hearing a lot of buzz about new social platforms popping up on Hedera.
Oh, absolutely. There's Kabila launching their new social space called Plazas. It's built to be really user-friendly, almost like the social media platforms we're all used to. And then there's Calaxy. It's a social wallet that's been getting a lot of attention on Hedera for a while now.
Hold up, a social wallet. That's a new one for me. What is that exactly?
Think of it like Venmo or PayPal, but built right into a social media platform. You can send and receive money, manage your crypto, and even earn rewards just for being active in the community. Caxley has a really clean and easy-to-use interface, which is key for them to bring in more people.
So they're trying to make it super simple for people who are new to crypto to get started without having to dive into all the complicated tech stuff.
Exactly, and that's what's so exciting about these platforms. They're connecting the dots between the old internet and the new Web3 world, making blockchain something anyone can use.
This sounds like it could really change things up.
Mm.
Imagine being able to send crypto to your friends while you're chatting, or earning tokens just for liking a post.
And remember that report we talked about? The one about how using tokens and social media could be the way to get everyone into crypto? Kabila and Calaxy are really putting that idea to the test.
This is how you get people interested in blockchain. Make it fun, make it rewarding, and make it super simple to use. Okay, so we've got social platforms covered, but there's a lot more happening on Hedera. What about this karate combat thing? It sounds pretty intense.
Oh, it is. Karate Combat is a professional fighting league that's been getting popular all over the world. They stream their fights online, and they've actually been using blockchain on their platform for a while.
So fans can use crypto to buy tickets or merchandise or something like that?
It's way more than that. They've actually built their own Layer 2 solution right on Hedera called Up Only Gaming. It's a way for fans to earn rewards by predicting who's going to win in a fight. And get this, they're making their whole software package, what they call A-Stack, completely free and open source for anyone to use.
Hold on, Layer 2 solution. Can you explain what that even means?
It means they basically created a whole separate network on top of Hedera. This new layer can handle tons of transactions without slowing down the main network.
Okay, so it's like building a super fast express lane for all those fight predictions so they don't create a traffic jam on the main Hedera highway.
Exactly. It's a really smart way to scale things up and handle all that extra activity.
I'm impressed. They're definitely thinking ahead and building something that can last. Okay, so we've got social platforms and a fighting league. What other surprises does Hedera have up its sleeve?
One thing that caught my attention is their brand new NFT studio. It's a complete toolkit for anyone who wants to make and manage their own NFT collections.
So for someone like me who's curious about NFTs but a little intimidated by all the tech stuff, this NFT studio would make it easier to get started.
For sure. It takes a lot of the complexity out of making and handling NFTs, from making sure you're following the rules to managing all the tokens.
That's awesome. It sounds like Hedera is trying to make things as simple as possible for developers and creators to build on their platform,
Yeah.
which is a smart move. And I think it's working because we're seeing some really big names starting to take notice. Like, remember that snack company I mentioned earlier?
You mean Mondelez International, the company behind Oreo, Ritz, and Cadbury?
Yep, them. They've actually joined the Hedera Governing Council and partnered with a company called SKX to completely change how digital payments work.
Crazy.
It's great.
It's a huge deal. When a company like Mondelez decides to go all in on blockchain, it sends a strong signal to everyone else.
Right. It's like they're saying, hey, this blockchain thing is the real deal, and we're betting big on it.
And the most interesting part is they're starting with digital coupons. Remember how we talked about making blockchain fun and rewarding? Well, imagine being able to use your phone to instantly redeem digital coupons for your favorite snacks.
No more digging through newspapers for coupons. Count me in.
And it gets even better. SKX has already teamed up with Visa to shake up digital payments. Now with Mondelez joining the party, they have a direct line to millions of customers.
Wow, so we could be talking about millions of people using blockchain without even knowing it. That's wild.
It really is. And this is just the beginning. I think we're about to see a huge change in how we connect with brands, and Hedera is leading the way.
Okay, so far we've talked about social media, fighting leagues, NFTs, snack giants. It feels like Hedera is making a splash across so many different areas.
It is. And what's really impressive is how smoothly they're connecting all these different things. It's like they're weaving a tapestry of real-world uses all powered by this one blockchain technology.
This is really exciting. It feels like we're watching a brand new internet being born, one that's more transparent, more efficient, and gives more power to everyone involved. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. There's a lot more to explore.
That's right. There are still some hurdles to clear, like making it work for tons of people and dealing with regulations, but there's no denying the momentum.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating. We're watching a new technology unfold right in front of us, and who knows where it's going to take us.
It's like we're adventurers exploring uncharted territory. There's a sense of excitement, a bit of risk, and tons of possibilities.
Well, you've definitely sparked my curiosity, and I hope everyone listening is feeling the same way. There's so much more to unpack here, so stay tuned for part 2, where we'll dive even deeper into the potential challenges and opportunities that Hedera might face.
As exciting as all this is, it's important to stop for a minute and think about the challenges that come with all this growth and innovation.
Okay, let's put on our skeptical hats for a second. What kind of roadblocks might Hedera hit as it tries to grow bigger and become that mainstream platform we've been talking about?
Well, one thing that always comes up with blockchain is scalability. Can the network handle the load when more and more applications are built on it and the number of transactions keeps going up? We were just talking about Mondelez and their digital coupons. Imagine millions of people using coupons all at the same time.
Yeah, that's a lot of Oreos hitting the blockchain. So is Hedera ready to deal with that kind of demand?
That's where things get interesting. Remember we talked about how Hedera's hashgraph consensus mechanism is super fast and efficient? Well, that's a huge plus, and they've proven they can handle a lot of transactions per second. But it's not just about how fast the transactions are processed. It's also about how complex those transactions are and how well the applications built on the network are designed.
So even if the consensus mechanism is blazing fast, things could still slow down if the applications aren't built to be efficient.
You got it. It's like having a superhighway with a toll booth every few miles. It doesn't matter how fast the cars can go if they're all stuck in line at those toll booths.
Makes sense. So developers need to be smart about how they design their applications to avoid creating those bottlenecks.
Exactly. And that's where Layer 2 solutions come into play. Remember how Karate Combat built their up-only gaming platform on a separate layer?
Yeah, the express lane for all those fight predictions.
Right. By shifting some of that processing work off the main Hedera network, they can really reduce congestion and boost how many transactions they can handle. And the best part is they made their whole software package HStack open source.
So other developers can basically take a page from their book and build their own Layer 2 solutions without having to start from scratch.
That's the plan. It's like a blueprint for building applications on Hedera that are both efficient and scalable. And if more developers use this approach, we could see a whole ecosystem of Layer 2 solutions pop up, each one designed to handle a specific type of transaction or use case.
Okay, now I'm seeing how it all fits together. Hedera is the foundation, the super fast base layer, and then developers can build these specialized layers on top of it to handle specific needs.
Exactly. And this layered approach is what I think will be crucial for Hedera to scale up in the long run.
But scalability isn't the only challenge, right? It takes more than just a fast and efficient platform to build a thriving ecosystem. You also need a strong community of developers who are passionate about building on it.
Absolutely. Attracting and keeping those talented developers is essential for any blockchain platform. And Hedera's got some tough competition from platforms like Ethereum and Solana, which already have these big established developer communities.
So how does Hedera compete with these giants? What are they doing to convince developers to join their ecosystem?
Well, Hedera has a couple of aces up its sleeve. First, their hashgraph technology offers incredible speed and low fees, which is a big draw for developers. Second, they're really focused on enterprise-grade solutions and making sure they're playing by the rules, which makes them attractive to big businesses and institutions.
So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. They've got the cutting-edge innovation of blockchain combined with the stability and reliability that big companies are looking for.
Exactly. And that leads us to another really important piece of the puzzle for Hedera's future governance. As the network keeps growing and changing, it's going to be super important to have a clear and transparent governance structure that makes sure things are fair, accountable, and built to last.
Right, because if things start to feel chaotic or unfair, that could scare away developers and investors.
Hmm.
So how is Hedera handling this?
They've got something called the Hedera Governing Council, which is made up of a diverse group of leading organizations from all kinds of industries. We're talking about big names like Google, IBM, Boeing, and now Mondelez.
Wow, that's an impressive group. So what does this council actually do? What's their role in running the network?
Their main job is to provide strategic guidance, make sure everything is compliant with regulations, and make those big decisions about the future of the network. They're basically like the board of directors for Hedera.
Okay, that makes sense. But with so many different organizations involved, how do they make sure they're making decisions that benefit the whole Hedera community, not just their own interests?
That's one of the ongoing challenges of decentralized governance. Finding that sweet spot between efficiency and inclusivity is key. They need to be able to make decisions quickly and effectively, but they also need to make sure that the voices of the wider community, the developers, users, and token holders, are heard and taken into account.
So it's not just a bunch of experts making all the decisions from the top down.
Yeah.
They need to find ways to get feedback and input from the ground level.
You got it. And it's a tricky balancing act. There's always the risk of getting stuck in gridlock or having different factions form, which can slow things down and stifle innovation.
Yeah, I can see how that could be a problem.
Yeah.
So is Hedera doing anything specific to address these challenges and make sure the governance model is working the way it should?
They are. They're always exploring new ways to be more transparent, encourage participation, and make sure everyone has a say in shaping the future of the network. They're actively asking for feedback from the community, and they're trying out different governance mechanisms to see what works best for Hedera.
It sounds like they're taking this seriously, which is a good sign. Because at the end of the day, the success of any blockchain platform depends on the trust and confidence of its community.
Couldn't agree more. And that trust is built on transparency, fairness, and a shared vision for the future.
Okay, so we've talked about scalability and governance. What other challenges are on the horizon for Hedera?
Well, one of the biggest challenges facing the entire blockchain industry is bridging the gap between those who are already into the tech and everyday users. We've seen some incredible applications emerge, but to get everyone on board, we need to make this technology easier to use and more appealing to a much wider audience.
Right, because right now it still feels like you need a computer science degree to understand how to use most blockchain applications.
Exactly. And that's why projects like Kabila and Calaxy are so important. They're creating user-friendly social platforms that seamlessly integrate blockchain technology into experiences that people are already familiar with.
So it's about meeting people where they are making it easy and enjoyable to interact with blockchain without needing to understand all the technical details.
Precisely. It's like the early days of the internet. Remember when you had to be a tech whiz to even send an email?
Right.
Now everyone's grandma is posting cat videos on Facebook.
That's a great point. So we need that same kind of transformation in the blockchain world.
We do. We need to move away from all the jargon and technical barriers and make it simple, intuitive, and even fun for people to use.
I love that. Make blockchain fun. That should be Hedera's new slogan. Okay, so we've talked about some of the challenges, but what about the opportunities? What are some of the things that are getting you really excited about the future of Hedera?
Well, one of the most exciting things about Hedera is its potential to empower individuals and create systems that are more fair.
Okay, break that down for me. What do you mean by empowering individuals?
Think about our current financial system. It's controlled by a small group of powerful institutions, and they often charge fees and put restrictions in place that have a bigger impact on those who are already at a disadvantage. But with blockchain, we have a chance to create a financial system that's more decentralized and inclusive.
So people can have more control over their own money without being at the mercy of big banks and institutions.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just finance. We can use blockchain to create systems that are more transparent and accountable for everything from voting to supply chains to healthcare.
So it's not just about making money or buying and selling things. It's about using this technology to create a more just and equitable world.
Precisely. And that's what I find so inspiring about Hedera. They're not just building a platform to make a profit. They're building a platform to make a positive impact.
That's a powerful idea. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground: scalability, governance, user adoption, the potential for positive change. What's the main takeaway for someone listening who's trying to understand all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is this. Hedera is a platform to watch. They're building something truly special, and they're doing it the right way.
They're thinking long-term, they're focused on real-world solutions, and they're committed to building an ecosystem that's sustainable and inclusive.
Exactly. And with all the momentum they're building, I think we're going to see some incredible things happening on Hedera in the coming years.
Okay, well, you definitely got me hooked. Let's take a quick break and come back to wrap things up with some final thoughts on what all of this means for the future of blockchain and the world as we know it. We're back. And wow, my head is spinning after that deep dive. We talked about the tech, the challenges, and the amazing potential, but I can't stop thinking about blockchain being a force for good in the world.
Yeah, it's a powerful idea, and I think that's what's really driving the innovation we're seeing on Hedera. It's not just about creating cool tech or making money. It's about using this technology to build a future that's more fair and sustainable.
You're right, and we've already seen some real examples of this, like those digital coupons from Mondelez. They're not just a gimmick. They could actually make a difference for people who are struggling to afford basic necessities.
I completely agree. Imagine a world where everyone has access to affordable food and essential things, no matter how much money they make or where they live. That's the kind of future we could create with blockchain technology.
It almost sounds too good to be true, but I'm starting to see how it could actually work. We have the technology, and we're seeing companies like Mondelez step up and embrace it. But there's still a disconnect between those early adopters and everyone else. How do we get everyone on board?
That's the big question, isn't it? I think the answer is creating experiences that are both exciting and easy to understand. Remember how we talked about making blockchain fun?
Yeah, the new Hedera slogan.
Exactly. We need to ditch the technical jargon and create applications that are intuitive and engaging for everyone, no matter how tech-savvy they are. Think about how social media exploded. It
Right.
wasn't because people understood the complicated technology behind it. It took off because it connected people. It was fun and it was super simple to use.
Right. No one was studying technical documents about the internet before they created their Facebook account.
Exactly. We need that same kind of simplicity and user-friendliness in the blockchain world. And that's where platforms like Kabila and Calaxy are making a difference. They're building social experiences that seamlessly integrate blockchain technology without overwhelming users with all the technical stuff.
So you're scrolling through your feed, chatting with friends, earning rewards, maybe even sending someone some crypto, all without even thinking about the fact that you're interacting with a blockchain.
That's the goal. And that's when we'll see mass adoption, when blockchain becomes such a natural part of our lives that we don't even realize it's there.
It'll just be the foundation that powers everything, like the internet itself.
Okay, so we've been pretty optimistic about the future, but we can't ignore the potential downsides. What are some things that could go wrong? What keeps you up at night?
Well, one concern is the possibility of misuse. Like any powerful technology, blockchain can be used for good or for bad. We've already seen examples of scams and hacks in the crypto world.
And as blockchain becomes more mainstream, I bet those risks will only grow. That's a possibility. That's why it's so crucial to have strong security measures and to educate users about the potential dangers. We need to be proactive, not reactive.
What about government regulations? Governments around the world are still trying to figure out how to deal with this new technology. Could that slow down innovation?
It could. Overregulation might create roadblocks and slow down progress. But I'm optimistic that we'll see a more balanced approach. I think governments are starting to see how blockchain can revolutionize industries and create economic opportunities, and they'll be reluctant to crush that.
Hopefully. Because, as we explored today, the potential benefits of blockchain are huge. But I also think it's important to remember that this technology is still in its early stages. There's a lot we still don't know.
You're right, we're still learning, and there will definitely be challenges along the way. But that's what makes it so exciting. We're witnessing the birth of a new era, and who knows where it will take us.
It's like we're pioneers venturing into uncharted territory. It's exciting, a little risky, and full of possibilities.
And that brings us back to our listeners. What should they take away from all of this?
I think the most important message is keep your eye on Hedera. They're quietly building a powerful ecosystem of real-world applications. And with big players like Mondelez and Visa joining the party, things are about to get really interesting.
This raises an important question. As these applications become widely used and transactions start flowing, what will the impact be on Hedera's value and the whole crypto world? It's definitely something to watch.
Absolutely. If you're as excited about this as we are, go check out Hedera's website and see all the incredible things they're creating. And make sure to tune in next time because we'll be diving into even more fascinating topics. Thanks for listening, everyone.